13 love, 13 wisdom, 13 respect. This is Jarrell. I just wanted to talk about the more in our glory as well as our ancient past. I'm going to compare this with the so called Jesus Christ that you're all familiar with and that glow around his head. Um, if you go and do a research, you'll find out that the word black does not really obtain to us. Neither does African, neither does Negro or nigga. We were known as Nagas, the wise ones, the ones who built the pyramids, the MRs, the mountain builders. And MR is an ancient name for the pyramid, which means more. Okay, here we have four images of your so called Jesus Christ, personal savior of the Christians. This here is based on American, European point of view, when clearly your Bible or your good book really talks about a dark skinned being. All right. The letter J is only 500 years old. So surely he could not be named Jesus at that time. Below here, you'll see four more images. This is in Russia. If you notice the glows around their heads, above and below there, pertaining to this so called enlightened one, there's no way on the planet there was such European enlightened one. You could look throughout the whole entire history and find out that there's no such thing. Also, if you go back and you look at the Moors, you also will find out that us Moors were the true elves of the planet, as well above and below. Okay, once again, you have the European Jesus Christ. If you look above here, you will see that Obama was made to look like him, with the two images to your left. The one there to the far right, like in the middle, the third from the fourth, you'll see that they had a broadcasting picture saying that he's not your Jesus Christ. At the same time, if you look over to the far right, you'll see the so-called personal savior of what? Macintosh, with that same glow around the head. Below here, you'll see Julius Caesar. Why is Obama looking like Julius Caesar, aka JC, as in Jesus Christ? You have the New York Post that also puts out an image of the same Roman type of look, talking about you need to hail, O Caesar. So they are really calling Obama your new Jesus Christ, your new personal savior, your so called Julius Caesar. At the same time, to the bottom, to the far right, you'll see the same personal savior now being Moses of Macintosh. Think about it. Think about this for one moment. Why they keep on showing you these kind of images and you not catching on to the trickery of your so-called worship? Now, why these fools got an Asian Jesus Christ with the same damn robe and the same damn sandals, with the same damn hairstyle and beard, with the glow around their head? Now, go figure this out, people. They're playing with you. These people who created this so-called modern day religion, they're playing you. You better go seek this shit out, or else you ain't gonna grow with nature. You're gonna fither and wither, just like a weed, because you're smoking weed. That's why you're not thinking straight. Now here we have you Negro peons going to talk about this so-called European Jesus when they are really making in front of you in the sense of your image and your looks. So why is this image that you see with a so-called dark or black skin, yet he has straight hair like he got a perm, just like the other image I showed you, but yet you still trusting in these kind of things, not knowing yourself, not seeking who you really are, but you are basically going after things that you have no knowledge of. So think about this. Why would they give you one image, then give you another image, and then give you a total different outlook of what they already told you in the beginning? You're being tricked. So if I were you, I would go and seek these things out before it's too late. Yes, the real truth is the more. Why is the more the most hidden secret on the planet? As soon as you say the name, you get people to argue with you. They got their own so-called opinion. And if you look at the word opinion, it means belief. Let's take a look again at us Moors. Why are we the only being on this planet called the Sun Children? Think about it. We are the only being on this planet called the Sun Children. Now, Hollywood has a habit of making movies based upon certain facts, if you can pinpoint them, like The Golden Child. You have Eddie Murphy playing the uh, the role of a hero with the Chosen One, and he's also known as the Golden Child. As you can see in the background, the sun going around his head. The Last Dragon here, on the other hand, is another good story where you have Bruce Leroy and Sure Enough battling, and you can see the glow around Sure Enough, and you can see where he's wearing that hat there, Leroy, with the sun that represents the sun around his head. If you look below that, you can see him glowing yellow as the sun. Um, the next movie, Red Dragon, that's another good movie where you can see the so-called person in the background has a yellow sun around his head. And the dragon with Bruce Lee, he also has a sun as he's jumping up and down. When you look at the dragon and the Last Dragon, both of these movies are familiar with one another because they're telling you who the real so-called Naga is, and that would be the character Bruce Leroy. Yes, before your so-called presidents of the United States of America, there was a queen that ruled California. Her name is Queen Khalifa. Your schooling system will not teach you this for the simple fact she's a Moor. She's not an African. This woman was extremely powerful. If you notice her, you'll see the sun around her head and the back of her with the rays to your far left. And like almost like a hat form, like the guy that you saw on The Last Dragon, that also represents the sun. This is where you get the term sunny California from. Okay, you guys go to church and you always see the so-called Jesus feature with the sun around his head. But you know nothing about the queens, the sea queens, the sea stars, the sisters that are dressed in the knight's armor. The word armor, you get it? So armor is about the Moor, the Dark Knight, the original knights of the so-called Round Table, not the visions that you see on your damn televisions. Uh, these are queens you're looking at right now. These are beautiful women who are dressed in armor. You see the glow around their heads here? Why don't know nothing about that? See, the church services and everybody else around the planet don't know nothing about this except those who go and seek this truth. Look at the four queens at the bottom. Why don't know nothing about these royal knights? The women who fought side by side by the kings and by the men who were fighting the evil off the planet. Why don't know nothing about this? They were just as powerful and just as of a warrior as a male was. But you don't hear anything about this. Now, let's go back up on top here. Now, if you go and search that glow, you're going to find out what that glow is all about. You have GLO space RY. That GLL is glow with the GLOW, and RY is ray or raw as the sun. So you're really looking at the glow of Ra or the glow of the sun around the heads of the Moors. We were the original lightened ones, not your so-called European, or should I say these Jesuits that you're looking at, these Khazarians, these so-called Jews that are not, who are the synagogues of Satan according to Revelations 2:9 and Revelations 3:9. So these are Satan's children on the planet. But you don't believe this, right? Because you rather go ahead and seek other things, right? While you're dealing with Satan's children. So if you're dealing with Satan's children, then who are you? Because you don't know this, guess who you're going to be? You're going to be drafted into their family instead of being drafted into the Moor family, which is the higher being, which is the most highs. So if I was you, I will put down your books and look inside yourself and go back to nature and get your monkey ass back, balanced. Now, if you research your so-called his story as in history, you will find out that the Moor was the one who taught the so-called European how to read and write. This is a real fact. You can also find out that before they were rulers of so-called Europe, the Moor was the one who invaded Europe at that time, and built it up because it was so messed up that they had to rebuild that whole entire land mass over there. Now, there's only two types of invasions, one who builds and one who destroys. The Moor is the one that comes and invade and builds things up, while the other comes and destroy. Now, you tell me who that is. Like I said before, the Moor is the most hidden secret on the planet. They know exactly how powerful we are within our intellect, especially being within our natural self. Why don't know nothing about these kings? Why they're not plastered all over the books and things of the children in elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, including colleges? Why they so buried? Why again that you see these kings have that glow around their heads if you look carefully? Again, like I was saying before, we are the original lightened ones. We are the beings that came from among high and landed here on the planet to help the beast or help humankind or mankind or kind of man to rise to consciousness. So that way when that time comes, they won't be here suffering. And that time is here now. If you go back and look at my brethren, 13th son in his videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. And no, we're not black, because we're not black or more. We're just more. Do a research. I dare your monkey ass and go do a research. You will find out that before the so-called European, who they're claiming that ruled Rome and Greek and all so-called European area or England area, you'll find out that it was us Moors who were there before them, who basically came to that land and made those castles that you see over there. But they won't tell you this though. So again, do a research on these three dark melanated kings and you'll see some real facts. Again, you see the knights, the dark knights. Those dark knights were us Moors. So again, like I said, Go and do a research and find these facts for yourselves. Don't believe me, don't trust me, because I'm not here to play no games. And don't come here arguing neither, or else something else is going to be worse happen to you.